CSX Indiana Subdivision was a B&O mainline that started when CSX was merged by Chassis System and B&O in the early 80s. In 1987, the CSX Indiana Sub was formed and begun for rails traffic. The line started in Washington, Indiana, ended all the way towards Cincinnati, Ohio. I would only cover in this video from BC 72 all the way toward BC 22 of the Indiana Subdivision, which is 50 miles of the line, while it had the remaining of the B&O signals that were still standing around that time frame. That was my own coverage of the line that I have done throughout the time being on the Indiana Sub. I have visited a couple times on the Indiana Subdivision throughout 2024 and 2025. This is my buddy's YouTube channel, as CSX and his train videos, AFK will. He documents the whole line. His channel will be linked in the description of this video. In today's video, I will be documenting the CSX Indiana Subdivision while I was down here throughout 2024 and 2025. I will be documenting from North Vernon all the way to Lawenceburg, Indiana. Let's get started on the CSX Indiana Subdivision in Osgood. Now I'm here in Pierceville, Indiana. After catching M572 at Pierceville, we head over to North Vernon, Indiana to catch L422. L422 is a North Vernon to Butlerville, Indiana local that heads east for Butlerville. Sometimes he heads west on the west end of the Indiana sub to head to Mitchell, Indiana. But today, we'll be catching L422 switching around Butlerville. After seeing L422 switch around Butlerville for like an hour or so, we head back towards North Vernon, Indiana. This time we'll be seeing CSX L452. L452 is a cement local that comes from Mitchell to head back towards Cincinnati, Ohio. L452 and L453 are the cement locals that comes from Cincinnati, and one's on the Indiana sub for Mitchell and then back to Cincy. when we were sitting here in Butlerville, 452 was working and I didn't get much video of them working. So, this was the only clips that I got of them working. After Butlerville, we decided to head over towards Holton, Indiana to get a shot here that I never discovered before. 452 would show up within 20 minutes of being here. We started hearing the whistle in the distance, and then we started seeing the headlight of the train. So, within 5 minutes after seeing the headlight, here it is. After getting 452 in Holton, we started seeing the rear end of the train, so we decided to move to Pierceville. We're back. At this time, we made it here within a minute to spare before starting hearing the horn and the crossing gates starting to go down. While we were making our way to Pierceville, we started hearing the Delaware defect detector. So that means it's getting pretty close to Pierceville. We made it here within 2 minutes. On July 26, 2025, I'm back down here to the CSX Indiana sub. We had 3 more days to shoot some more stuff on the CSX Indiana. We'll be doing some exposures here in Butlerville, just because I never done exposures down here before. I only had 1 tripod, so that means I would have to do video handheld, but I decided to do something different. I decided to do some low light photography, since my 6D could probably do the job done. Well, that was incorrect. My 6D could not do the job done. So, the only thing I got was a crappy photo of the Lawenceburg going east. This is CSX M520. M520 is a Birmingham, Alabama to Cincinnati, Ohio manifest. Today later, he would have a DC Jevo leading away, heading for Cincinnati. hitting M520 here at Butlerville, we decided to head back towards my campsite and drop me off while I was staying over Pierceville, Indiana. While we were heading back, we saw some lightning, and then I went to sleep after I got back. It's the next day, July 27th, 2025. I'm back out to the tracks. This time we would catch a CSX M204. M204 comes out of Nashville, Tennessee, for Selkirk, New York. He has a bunch of manifests up front, but the rest of the train is Autoax. The CPLs would be on my right a mile down. So, for this shot, I decided to get some code line in it. But if you hear, there's some flies in the background and flying around my camcorder. This was the bad time of the season where there was a bunch of flies. So, if you hear that, there's nothing I could have done about that. So, M204 it is. Throughout the day, on July 27th, I had a special event this day, so we were very limited on trains throughout the day. But this will be the second train throughout the day that I will be able to catch. It is nighttime now, and it is about 10:10 p.m. We are about to get CSX M520. M520 is a Birmingham, Alabama, all the way to Cincinnati train. What leader sounded like a Jibo? That is correct, it is a Jibo leading. We waited and waited till we started to see the headlight from Pierceville, and M520 was blowing the horn at Pierceville. So that means it would only take him about 5 more minutes till he has arrived through Milan, Indiana. After getting M520 in Milan, I decided to head back to Versailles to my campsite. And that will be the final train of the day that I would be able to catch. So I'd get back to the campsite and I would wake up around 5:30 in the morning the following day to catch some more trains on the CSX Indiana sub, before I would have to head back home the following day. It's the following morning, July 28th, 2025. We're back here on the CSX Indiana sub to shoot some more trains before I would have to head home. This would be the last day I would shoot the Indiana sub. So, let's make this day as much as we can possible. We're here in Dabney, Indiana. Dabney is just east of Holton, and we're just west of Osgood. So, Holton and Osgood were in the between. So Dabney, I never shot this set before, and this will be the first time and only time of me shooting Dabney. Since this will be the last day and I would not have any more free time to come back down to the CSX Indiana. So, this will be the only and first time to be shooting Dabney. Our first train here would be CSX M252. M252 is a Louisville, Kentucky to Gibson, Indiana. He mostly runs on the Indiana sub, but sometimes he runs on the LCL. But today, he'll be taking the Indiana sub for Cincy and then going all the way to Gibson. He would have a CSX Tier 4 Jiva leading, but in my sake, I don't care what power it is, I'm just shooting CPLs. So, this would be the only time I would shoot this set. While we were getting the train over in Dabney, we decided to head over towards Pierceville for our next spot. At Pierceville, I have gone a couple times. Knowing me, this will be the last time I will be getting Pierceville at. So, we waited for 252 to clear Dabney to head over towards Pierceville, while we saw a CSX truck stopping at the crossing here. We met up with our two friends here at Pierceville while waiting for 252 to split the CPLs here in town. We made it here within about a few minutes to spare before the gates started to go down, and after the gates going down, we end up waiting for at least a half a minute before we started seeing the train. After getting the train over at Pierceville, we decided to head over towards Dillsboro. Dillsboro is out in the middle of nowhere, so it was pretty hard to find. But luckily, I had my friend Will CSX and his train videos, he knows this spot because he's captured this spot before. So, as a good leadership for him, he took me all the way out here to shoot 252 here. Even though I had a tier 4 Gilo leading, I'm still taking the risk of shooting whatever I can on the Indiana sub. After getting 252 at Pierceville, we came here to Dillsboro. After shooting 252 in Dillsboro, we would later find out that there will be a CSX L452 coming from Mitchell, Cincinnati, Ohio, daily cement local that'll head east coming from Mitchell. So after we were getting 252, we decided to head back west towards North Vernon to wait on the L452. There's the end of 252 now.
They stopped.
They're still moving. We're back here in North Vernon. This is a whole different and new railroad that I've never seen before. The Madison Railroad. The Madison Railroad is only 15 miles of their own trackage. Most days they go south or sometimes north, but I've seen most of their time today. They'll be working around North Vernon Yard as they have a little switcher working the yard. After crossing the diamond, they'll take the connection to head back to their own trackage. After the Madison Railway cleared, I basically stand outside and wait for a clear signal. Before I zoom into it though, you can tell there is a rainstorm that is coming towards us. Now the signal shows as a stop. That means a red over red. So that means our train is not so close. Well, after looking at the Seymour camera, 452 was crossing the diamond, and after looking on the camera, the rain has showed up and it downpoured. And while it was downpouring, we get a clear signal for an eastbound. So that's 452 getting the signal here in North Vernon. We went into the truck and waited for the rain to slow down. A few minutes have gone by, the rain has slowed down, and we're back out waiting for 452 to show up. Just another few minutes has passed. We heard a horn in the distance, and the gates have started to go down. And that's 452 that's showing up here in North Vernon. As the last time I caught 452, they were going slow in North Vernon across the diamond. This time, they're going fast through North Vernon across the diamond. Take a look. After getting 452 over in North Vernon, Indiana, we decided to head over towards Butlerville and watch 452 switch here, as they have a ton of work for them in Butlerville.
Three more, give me 722.
Two
more cars, 2.
You know that
One car, 7022. 1-5. What?
it's either under 10 or under 5. They gotta say every single different car.
Oh.
I learned that from Evan.
5.
Okay, yeah, 3 step.
3 step on the
Stretch it out.
7022.
Yeah. Still coming. Got it.
Okay, Evan Richie. Do not load.
Did it say do not? Oh, there's more.
22, 8 car.
Four, 7022.
You gotta give a little leeway.
Alright, my bad. 3, 7022.
2.
Last 2.
1, 7022.
That'll do 7022 with a 3-step on your stopover.
I'd laugh if it stopped in the switch still, because the last car wasn't even completely clear of yet, and sometimes they can stop quick. But
They
it
wouldn't be
didn't.
able to stop that quick.
422, man.
Time to put the EOT on.
After seeing 452 switching a while in Butlerville, we decided to head to a new crossing and a new location. You can see the replacement of. This is Williams Lake, a control point that are out in the middle of nowhere, and there is CPLs, intermediates, out in Williams Lake. We tried to shoot it here, but the sun decided to come out at a worse time. So we decided to get the train here at the crossing and wait for the train to show up. Here he is now.
gotta respect the photo line now.
That is true.
I don't give a shit exactly what it is.
Back to Penn Station.
Back to Penn Station. After getting the train over at Williams Lake, we decided to head over to our last location. This one is West and Osgood. As the beginning of the video, we were at West and Osgood for 574. And now, we're here for 452. This will be the final location and the final time that we will be seeing 452. And also, this would be the last trip that I would do for the Indiana sub with the CPLs. After seeing 452 here at West and Osgood, this will be the final trip of my trip down here, and also I would have to go back north at some point today, so there wouldn't be anything else after this 452. So, this will be the final time that I would be seeing the Indiana sub with CPLs. I also want to give a very good shout out to my friend Will for taking me out here, and I would also drive like an hour to shoot the Indiana sub, but it was totally worth it even though we had GEs most of the time, so I would have to take it for granted and be thankful for that. So the trip was worth it. I'm glad I was able to shoot the Indiana sub as much as I did. So this will be the final time of the CPLs that I will be seeing before the cutover on August 20th, 2025. The cutover will be from Butlerville to Weston Island.